You know that feeling, right? When you're part of a team, a family, any group, and things just completely fall apart. The communication breaks down, the conflict just spirals, and nobody knows how to fix it. Well, what if I told you that the blueprint for solving these all-too-modern problems was hiding in a story that's over 2,000 years old?
Wow, verbal daggers. That's a pretty powerful phrase, isn't it? It comes from an ancient text written in Pali, and it's describing a community of monks, of all people, at a place called Kosambi. I mean, these guys were supposed to be the models of peace, but instead they were just tearing each other apart with their words.
The text really paints a picture of a group in total chaos. They're arguing, they're quarreling, they can't convince each other of anything. It seems like every time they try to solve the problem, they just make it worse.
Yeah, they were at a complete and total stalemate. And you can imagine the emotional toll that takes. It was just paralyzing the whole community. They were stuck, totally stuck, with no idea how to move forward.
I mean, seriously, doesn't it? A feud at the office, a family fight that just won't die, those toxic debates you see online. This ancient problem feels incredibly modern because at its heart, it's a story about what happens when we just fail to connect.
So into this mess, the Buddha steps in. And what's interesting is he doesn't take sides. He doesn't say who's right or who's wrong. Instead, he just offers a clear, simple solution, a set of 6 principles designed to bring everyone back together.
And look, on the surface, this is just great advice. A modern translation gives us this fantastic guide. Be kind in your actions, your words, your thoughts. Share what you have, act with integrity, and try to see eye to eye. It's solid, common sense wisdom. You can't really argue with it.
But here's where it gets really, really interesting. This first translation is good, it's helpful, but it might be missing the most powerful part of the entire message. To really get what's going on, we have to dig a little deeper into the exact words the Buddha used.
So in the original Pali language, these principles are called Saraniya Dhamma. And to unlock their real power, we can't just take the surface translation. We have to go back to the root of that word, saraniya, and understand its linguistic DNA, so to speak.
And here it is. The key term saranya actually comes from the root word sar, which means to remember. So think about that. These aren't just rules for being polite or nice. They're instructions on how to become memorable in a good way.
This one little shift in meaning changes everything. The goal isn't just to be pleasant right now. It's to live in a way that makes people remember you with goodwill and respect. It's a totally different game. It's about your legacy, not just your manners.
Okay, so let's go back to those 6 rules. But this time, let's look at them through this powerful new lens. It's not just about getting along. It's about becoming memorable. How does that change things?
Right, this isn't about some fleeting politeness. It's about consciously building a positive reputation. Your actions, your words, your thoughts, they're like the bricks you're using to build how you will be remembered by the very people you share your life with. So now, it's not just loving actions, it's actions that make you unforgettable for your kindness. It's not just sharing, it's sharing so generously that you're remembered for it. See, it's an active strategy for building deep, lasting connections. But there's one principle that's more important than all the others.
Okay, this brings us to that 6th and final principle, which the Buddha says is the most crucial one of all. It's this idea of a unified view, or ditthi in Pali. He says this is the key to the entire structure. These are the actual words from the text describing this principle. It's the apex, the binder, and the unifier. So it's not just another item on the list. It's the one thing that gives the other 5 their strength. It's the glue that holds the entire group together.
And to make this idea super clear, the Buddha used this brilliant visual metaphor. He said, this shared perspective, this unified view, is like the rooftop of a house. You know, that final piece at the very top that completes the whole structure.
And this just illustrates the point perfectly. The other 5 principles, all those memorable actions, words, and thoughts, they're like the walls of the house. They're totally essential, for sure. But without that rooftop, that shared perspective or common goal, the walls are just unstable. They'll eventually fall apart. The rooftop is what locks everything together and turns a bunch of walls into a real home.
So, what can we take from all this? I mean, what does this ancient story and its hidden code actually teach us today?
Well, it gives us a really practical, powerful blueprint for building stronger, more connected groups in our own lives.
The takeaways are pretty straightforward. First, real harmony is way more than just being polite. It's about being positively memorable. Second, we have to remember that everything we do, our actions, words, and thoughts, is actively creating our legacy. And finally, and maybe most importantly, we need that shared, unifying perspective. That rooftop is what holds any group together.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. In your team at work, in your family, in your community, what is that shared vision? What's that unifying principle, that rooftop that's locking all your individual efforts together and turning your group into a true home?